think first and foremost is that there needs to be a constant reevaluation of the strategic plan. I think we saw that most recently with the carbon neutral plan. The previous council had actually allocated for over $500,000 in carbon credit offsets, and the current city council has made a statement that we're not going to be doing carbon credit offsets. That's an excellent question. It's something that I've accused of quite a bit, is putting out misinformation. I think the word misinformation has been misused. I've even used the term, there's a lot of misinformation about the misinformation. I think people having opposing viewpoints, and if someone sees it differently than you, it's not misinformation. I think it's called discourse.
As I mentioned before in answer to another question, facts matter, and I think this is an issue we've been dealing with lately, more, sometimes in the campaign, but just over the last few months or a year or so. And it's been come up in these discussions as well. There's several references to carbon neutrality that I've heard today in other debates. And the impression is this new council is making this carbon neutrality, coming up with it and creating things. The colleagues, candidates here should know and go back and review the records. The carbon neutrality process started in 2010, before any of us that are serving in the council now serve. And actually, my colleague next to me, former Mayor Tucker, signed the resolution for carbon neutrality in 2015, and I have it here if anybody wants to see it. And I agreed it, I approved it, I was part of the process. So when people say carbon neutrality is a new thing and this new council is just creating these crazy things and crazy mandates, a number was thrown out today about $500,000 for the carbon neutrality. I don't know where that number came from. I've never seen it in the 4 years I've here. A number was thrown out today about $500,000 for the carbon neutrality. I don't know where that number came from. I've never seen it in the 4 years I've here. So to answer your questions, what do? Check the facts, look at the records, and have face-to-face meeting to discuss the issues rather than throwing it out in face media and assuming that it's accurate.
Thank you. Is my position on carbon neutrality. I've been outspoken about carbon neutrality for over 2 years. I want to represent a voice for the people who actually oppose it. As I mentioned, it was from our general plan. I really felt it was one of the most intrusive general plans I've ever seen, where I felt our individual property rights and our individual liberties were being threatened. And I want to go ahead and try and oppose as much of that implementation as possible. And then I wanted to address one issue that came up earlier as far as the misinformation of the misinformation. Mr. Fanguri said back in February 2015 that there was no such number as 500,000 for carbon credits. It is a fact. I will put that information out tomorrow. I can get it tonight. But if you go look, the night that this city passed municipal carbon neutrality, it included carbon credits of over 500,000.